Is it not a wonderful thing to gather together in Christian piety and love and to worship God together? How blessed are we to come into this beautiful temple, surrounded by people of love, of good heart and intentions, and to worship God. Are we not the most blessed people in the world? This is true. Why don't we always feel this way? Well, there's a downside to this wonderful community full of people who love God. And the downside is the other people. Right? If it were just us and those whom we know and love that came into the church, those who shared common heritage with us, it would be so easy to come to church. It would be an easy and a beautiful blessing. But there's the other people. They keep on making this difficult. When we are children, we divide up into cliques. Some friends here, some friends there, the boys versus the girls, the kids from Trenton versus the kids from Riverview maybe, or maybe just the different ages have their conflicts. And it's so nice to be in church, except for when the one group leaves the other out, or vice versa. When they say something about each other. It gets so much easier when we become young adults. So easy, in fact, that most of our young adults don't come at all. A little sarcasm. Of course, it gets more difficult. Who is in and who is out? Our life in the church is full of offense. From this person, from that. The priest didn't say hello to me. He forgot to look at me. He looked at my kid. He looked at the other kid. He thinks I'm all the things we hear and say about the priest, about one another, about one another's children. All these things that undermine the beauty of being in the house of the Lord. Now, without all of this that we have said, if I came out and said to any one of you, or to myself, do you enjoy coming to church? Many of us would struggle to say yes without some reservation. Yes, but this or that or the other thing or person makes it hard. What we see in the gospel today is a woman who would not be turned aside from blessings, no matter how hard it was. We see the story. She has a daughter, a young girl, and her daughter is possessed by demons. She is not well. She is not herself. She's trying to harm herself. God knows what she's doing. It doesn't say in detail. It just says she is severely possessed by a demon. So she comes and says, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And the Lord doesn't answer a word. He turns his back. But she doesn't stop. She goes to his disciples, "Have mercy on me, help me." She won't leave them alone. So they finally come to Jesus and say, "Would you send her away? She's bothering us. She's embarrassing us." And the Lord says, "I was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel." But she comes. And she says, Lord, help. And he says, it's not right to take the bread for the children and to give it to the dogs. Could he be more insulting? Imagine, God forbid, but imagine one of us comes into the church, walks up to the chalice, opens our mouth, and the priest said, it is not good to give the bread of the kingdom to dogs. Can you fathom the anger that we would feel? The resentment, the humiliation. Imagine it. Because this Canaanite woman is as human as you or I. What we would feel, she felt. But she does not turn away in anger. She says, yes, Lord, but even the dogs can eat the crumbs that fall from the table. Now, of course, the Lord knew all of this would happen. He speaks these words of anger, these words of judgment, these words of rejection, to give an opportunity for her to show her faith. But now he is able to say it and to show to everyone who is there and to all of us who read through the generations. He says, woman, how great is your faith. May it be done to you as you have asked. And her daughter is healed from that moment. So what is it again that makes it so difficult for us to come into the church and to find it the home, the house of joy and blessings and grace and everlasting life? All these people, we say, never mind, the service is long, it's Sunday morning, I'm tired, it was a long week, I haven't eaten anything. I know. All of these reasons. But at the end of the day, what keeps us from finding the blessing that is promised to us is the absence, the lack of such faith as this woman exhibits today. Because if we seek earnestly, without being turned aside by any impediment, the grace, the love, the mercy, the blessings of God, we will not be turned away. We don't hear this gospel all the time. Only when Lent and Easter in 2 years are disposed such that there is need for this extra reading. Oftentimes we skip over it and right into Triodion. This time we get to hear it. The last reading before we begin to build up towards Great and Holy Lent. And there will be many impediments, many struggles, many difficulties, many relationships that make it difficult for us to find the blessings of God. As we encounter them, let us take this Canaanite woman who is not named as our example. When we feel ourselves turned away, when we feel resentment and anger towards our brother or our sister, when we feel it difficult to seek the grace of God, let us remember her and seek more diligently, more earnestly, and with greater humility the love and the salvation of the Lord, even as though we were those little dogs trying to take the crumbs that fall from the table. For the Lord will not turn us away. With this in mind, let us stand and continue the liturgy.